to kind of walk you through making your about page from your template. So first off, open up your template HTML in either TextMate or Brackets or whatever it is that you're using. I'm going to be using TextMate throughout this course. So it might look slightly different, but the main things are the same, such as having the line numbers here. I'm going to go ahead and then save this guy as, and I'm going to call it about.html. I'm going to put it in my class site. So this guy, I'm calling this about.html. Now, what I've done in terms of my class site is I showed you my class site earlier. I'm just going to show this as a list, so it's a little bit less confusing with the name being how it's sorted. So this is my class site, and yours is just going to have index, and it's going to have the what I know. Now you can go ahead and have the about at the top level here. That's absolutely fine. Or you can start sorting things by weeks. Either one is absolutely fine. Just pick one and stick with it. I'm a very maybe overly organized person. So I like to organize my class site by week. And so I've gone ahead and made a week 1 folder that I'm going to put my about.html document into. If you want to leave it at the top level, that's fine. But make sure it's in that same folder you're going to use for your class site. And as you can tell, each week we're going to be adding to it. So this is going to have for you index, and it's going to have what I know. And then you're going to have your about. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And so now we've got everything that's in our template, but it's called about.html. So we can go ahead and change this, and I still have that template that I can keep using over and over again. So in here, I want to make my page title something that's appropriate. So it should either be your name or about your name. So I'm going to say about cat. And now make sure that's your title. So that's what's going to show up when you open up your browser. And then everything else should go in your body. So what I've asked you to do is to answer some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm already copied them. So I'm going to paste the questions in the body. This is what I want to answer. Now you're going to have to mark it up, and you're going to want to use heading, paragraph, and list tags as appropriate. So I'm going to start by maybe making a header that's going to be an H1, and this header is going to be about cat. And remember, you always want to close H1. Awesome. So that's my header. It's about me. And now I'm going to want to start this as a unordered list. I'm not going to have it be ordered. So unordered list. And then I like to just kind of open and close where things are going to be so that I remember as I go. Now, maybe each of these particular ones, they're all going to be list items, but maybe I want the questions to be bigger. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make this a list item, and I'm going to end this list item, and I'm going to do the same for all of these guys. Oops. As you can tell, sometimes typing and talking can be hard. Nice thing about TextMates or Bracket is that it will kind of auto put in some of the things for you, like making the angle bracket. So I've made each of these guys list items, but I also want to make each one of them maybe an H4. I definitely don't want them to be as big as the guy here. And, you know, you can take a look and see maybe that's too big or too small. You can kind of preview that in a second in your browser. So in order to do that, let me open up my Chrome browser here. And I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. And I'm going to double click on About, and it'll open up my local version here. Clearly I have not done, I haven't saved it. That would help. As you can see, you won't see your changes until you save. So I've got my About, and you can see it says About Cat, what's your name, Major, and you can see the difference. H4 has got some extra padding in here too, as well as making it bigger and bolder. Let's go for it. I like it. I think that looks good. And you could see the difference too if you wanted to do an H3 here, not H43, and then maybe let's see what an H5 does here. Again, if I save and then I refresh, Yeah, H4. I think H4 is the way that I want to go. Definitely not H5. Maybe H3? Yeah, let's go for 3. And change my mind as I go. So I'm going to make sure that I have it so that I've got an open H3 and closed H3. If I left either of these guys as H4 or H5, I'd run into an error. So here, and H3. Open H3. Close H3. And last but not least, now, maybe instead of putting my answers as different list items, maybe I want them to be in the same list item, but I then want them to be paragraphs. So my name is Kat Lombard Cook and P. Okay. And what does that look like? You can see that. Now you notice there's no dot next to it. If I had made this another list item, I would have had a dot here. But I didn't want that to have a dot. I just wanted it to be part of the same question. So that's why I made a paragraph and a list item here. So I want to, paragraph. And then what's your major? Well, I'm gonna say my major is the department I work in, so it's communications. And if you've got a you would probably be digital communications, or maybe you're in computer science. So I'm gonna then close my paragraph. Great. Have you taken any design or computer science classes? Hopefully you've at least taken intro, but maybe you've taken some other things. So again, I'm gonna use a paragraph, say intro to graphic design, taking visual communications, whatever it is. Why are you taking it? What do you want to learn? You can answer these. Have you ever made a website or done any web design before? And for that, that can be things like WordPress, as well as using something like one of the like GoDaddy templates, or one of the larger companies that will kind of set you up with hosting and all that. That counts, as well as if you've done anything from scratch as well. And what type of things would you like to learn how to make? So go ahead and answer those questions. And then when you're done, save it. Make sure you save. And you'll see the answers to the questions here. Now the next step is going to be putting it up on the website so that I can actually get to this and see it, and everybody else can get to it and see it. But we're going to cover that in the next video.